Welcome to Module 2, Demand and Supply. We get really at the foundation of economics here. Well, as you can see, our first discussion is in this module. And, well, I already showed you how to do that. When you introduced yourself over here, that's how the discussion works. You click on there and you don't see anything, and then you click on create thread, and then you see something. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I better come clean and tell you my philosophy of discussions. I know with the technology, we should be having discussions just constantly because online technology is so accommodating for discussions. I mean, they make them possible that you can have discussions, just discuss. Well, I believe just because the technology allows for it doesn't mean we have to do it. It doesn't mean it's prudent to do it. Okay, so I have some biases here. When I was in college, there were two things I hated more than anything. One was group work, and the other was discussions. And the thing was with discussions, especially at the professor, I remember once professor was actually marking down on the roll every time somebody said something. Oh my gosh. All the BS flying around the room after that. Everybody was desperate to say something, raising their hands, anything, just to have it marked down there because the last thing you wanted was to to not have a mark by your name. Oh, that was an enlightening discussion, yeah. Uh, anyway, I found them pretty much useless as a student, so I carry that bias. And to add to that, my predecessor online, when I took over the online courses, they were being taught, they were pretty much brand new at the campus, and I was brand new at the campus, and the economics department allowed a vice president of the college to teach online until a faculty member wanted it, and I came on board and I wanted it. So I taught the students right after he taught the students, and I got a lot of feedback. And what he did was virtually nothing. He was busy with his day job, being vice president of the college, and he just let the students discuss. And so when I got them, after they'd had a semester with him, yes, they were experts on each other's opinions. They really knew a lot about their opinion and their classmates' opinion, but they didn't know a thing about economics. And so, yeah, okay, maybe I'm too much one way, my personal feelings that they're totally worthless. That's probably not correct. But I'll tell you what, it's easy to do too much of them. And I mean, this is an economic issue. We've only got so much time. We have a scarcity of time. And every minute we spend discussing is a minute we could have spent learning something. So I do realize that discussions make things more social and a little more fun and all that. So yes, we're going to have discussions. Yes, indeed. But you probably also notice they only count for 10% of your grade. So these are pretty much participation points, if you will. So go in there, have some fun, discuss some stuff, and I'm good with it. I think it's a good thing in moderation. The other thing about discussions, I guess there's a couple of schools of thought here. One is where the professor is actively engaged in the discussion. The professor is a participant, and they are constantly interacting, responding to what everybody says, and Okay, so that's one. The other end of the spectrum would be just let the students discuss amongst themselves. Well, I'm kind of the latter, as you might guess, since I'm not convinced they're all that useful. But seriously, I believe that if the students feel like they're constantly being looked at, if I'm looking over their shoulder every second, I think it kind of inhibits the discussion. So what I do is I let the students just go and discuss, unless something is said that's inappropriate, which has happened like once. I mean, in 15 years of teaching online. I mean, it's been extremely rare. Or if the student will say something that I feel like I need to respond to, again, very rare. Usually, what I do is I'll read everybody's discussion, and then if I think there's something a kind of going on there, that I'll respond in a course announcement. Just kind of a generic course announcement going out where I will kind of comment on some of the comments. So. Okay, I'm 6 minutes into this video. I apologize, but there's my there we are. You now understand how this discussions work. Okay, yeah. All right, so let's go on here to the lectures. We've got here's a very short thing, a little cartoon from the Wall Street Journal in there. I think you'll get a kick out of. But yes, essence of economics, scarcity. Again, I talked about that, scarcity of time. Trade-offs and opportunity costs. And speaking of scarcity, rationing the seats at the Cuesta School of Nursing. You'll find this fascinating, as I did. There's all kinds of ways to ration scarce goods. I mean, you could do it you could have a 100-yard dash, and the first three to place gets the scarce good. You could have an essay writing contest. You could have arm wrestles. You could have a lottery. You could do it by price, as you'll learn in this module. Well, actually, the next module where we put supply and demand together. So there's a lot of different ways to ration scarce items. Healthcare is a great example. Some countries use government rationing. Now, since they don't use price as a rationing tool, they use waiting. You have to wait. You have to wait your turn, and sometimes the waits can be a long time. So yeah, you can wait your turn. That's another way to ration. And anyway, Cuesta Nursing School had a really I don't know what to say about it, but they didn't want to use grades to ration. Instead of taking the top students, they wanted to do it another way, which, as you can imagine, got some interesting responses, especially from the doctors who wanted to hire nurses. Anyway, that's an interesting one. Video lectures. Well, we've got some good stuff from Paul Salman. A video on opportunity cost, one of the most important concepts in economics, and then you'll kind of get a laugh out of this opportunity cost rap. Yeah, a minute long, And then supply and demand videos, again by Paul Salman. Now, you do not want to miss those. They're short, and sweet, but they will do a great job of explaining this to you. Okay, and you'll understand what's in the chapter a lot better if you do watch those. So be sure and watch those. They're very helpful. Homework. Well, nothing new there, actually. Here's the same old thing. The chapter reading, the chapter homework, the chapter quiz, just like in Module 1. Economics USA, just like in Module 1. There you go. Module 2 in the books. See ya in Module 3.